You're listening to the Precision Shooting Podcast, discussing all aspects of precision and long-range rifle shooting. This episode is brought to you by Impact Dynamics. And now, over to your hosts.
Well, hello and welcome to Precision Shooting Podcast. This is number 125, I think. And we are all here again on a Wednesday evening. Sitting right next to me is, I say right next to me, sitting next to me. That was a little bit too generous.
Personal
Bronte?
space, mate. Personal space.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, well, I was okay up until about a minute ago.
Then we got
Bit
nervous.
too personal.
Yeah, that's all right. There's more of that to come. Speaking of more of that to come, there's Dutchie over there.
Greetings, everybody.
Greetings. Yep.
Salutations.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to run with salutations, but I didn't think
You
the
missed the opportunity.
listener group would understand what I was talking about.
Oh,
You undersell
all
them.
aspects, mate. All aspects.
You've,
Is that Italian? Is salutations Italian?
I don't know.
It is now. Yeah.
Arriba
that's
dirty.
right.
This aspect
Yeah.
it is.
And sitting quietly, waiting to be spoken to. So we'll just let him hang for a little bit longer.
See how long it lasts,
Yeah.
eh?
That'll be
See how
interesting.
long we wait for the listeners to
He's
work
really-
out who it is.
He's a really polite guy, though, so he could be sitting there for a while without actually saying anything. Which would be, it's not common to have polite people on this podcast. If you think about our regulars, but anyway. Shall we?
Take
Shall
that
we?
to
There's
heart,
been a
don't you?
polite person in here.
Well, there is, but
Once.
he's quiet.
Who's that?
It's the guy over there. in
The one that still
corner.
hasn't spoken yet. We're about 3 minutes in.
Oh, that's all right. Well, here he is with the appropriate introduction. Travie Harris.
Happy Wednesday, listeners, and Rusty and Dutchie and I was going to say Borny, but you're Bronte actually.
All day.
Well, happy Wednesday
Happy
to Borny as
Wednesday.
well.
I thought you were going to call him a ball bag.
Wouldn't be the worst thing I've been called today, surprisingly.
Yeah, not in the last hour.
Yeah, well, that's true. Probably the last 10 minutes even.
It's fair. Oh, Travie, you've been on the podcast before, so people will know you, perhaps, possibly. But,
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I know. See, polite. I told you he was polite.
It's-
And you're not from Canada, are you?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, let's give it time. Excellent. Well, we are a few days after the PRS in Buchan, the Ignition Custom Winter Classic, and it was winter in the mornings. But how's everyone's week? Couple of weeks been? All that sort of gear.
Really
Right.
good. Yeah.
Travie's
Yep.
been good
Recovering.
Yes. From that dust. We'll
Oh.
get onto that, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
Get onto that moon dust at some point. Bronte, have you been shooting, mate?
I fired 32
Employees.
32 rounds over the weekend at the competition and got 30 points.
Oh, that's right. There was a comp. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a pretty good hit rate, unless they were all worth 3 points a shot.
1 point a shot. I just didn't shoot the other 3 stages, which probably didn't help my final score.
That kept your personal hit rate up, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Firing pin problems.
No, I was borrowing a gun and didn't have a gun for the other
So it
3
ran
stages.
I didn't know the protrusion, so I just gave up. I'm like, no.
Hey, I fixed that on the range, all right, guys?
Yeah, but the problem is Dutchie's got a long memory.
Well,
I've got
yeah.
a long memory for pointless things. Anything useful, I'll forget by the time the conversation's finished.
Even partway through.
What were we
That's
talking
right.
about again?
There was a club day at our club on the weekend, and that was our biggest club day by a long way ever. There was 116 people out
That was over the weekend,
over
yeah.
the 2 days. Yeah, that's huge. I think the most we've done is about 80. And what was really great, I bet, was that 12 of us who would normally be there and normally be sort of part of the core group were all over at the PRS match. So you were 12 probably considerable helpers down, and you guys still smashed through helping out 116 people and ran 2 comps.
Yes.
Well done, Bronte.
Not me. No. I think
Don't thank me.
no, not me. Definitely not me. I think I was more of a hindrance than a help, but that's not unusual.
Nice. Oh, well, that's all right. Any particular stories? Any exciting things happened, or
No, not really.
No,
We just-
I was
wasn't
waiting
there.
for him.
Yeah, we just sucked at practice score and
Oh yeah,
did not do well on that front. But apart from that, everything else on the Saturday
went smooth.
went great. Yeah, once we actually got the competition started, everyone seemed to enjoy
You wrote the
themselves.
competition, didn't you?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Tell us more. How did that go?
yeah, it worked.
Yep.
No, it was worked out all right, and there was I think the hit rate for the sort of middle to lower people was, above the 50%, which is
fantastic.
which is it was a lot easier than it would have been if it wasn't a come and try.
Of course, yeah.
I kind of had the targets that I wanted to use, and I'm like, all right, that one that's 3 times the size, just use that one.
Yeah.
So,
for a lot of new shooters, it's going to be a better way to do it.
Absolutely, and there was actually some really, really impressive efforts. There was one young girl with her father.
Yeah.
And she, in her squad of about 8 people, she finished 4th out of the squad and 7th overall, which was really impressive.
And it was her first time out shooting.
Yeah, she did sensationally well.
They're the people you're jealous of.
There's a fair few people that had been shooting for a while that are all kind of sitting a bit quiet when they saw the scores after.
Fantastic.
Good to see new people in the sport, though. It's
not
fantastic.
wrong. Not wrong. That's wonderful. Well, we were, Dutch, you're obviously just chilling out at home.
Sure, we'll run with that.
Yeah. Good cover.
There you go. I just got myself an alibi.
Establish some alibis.
Yeah, I was at home the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah. Proof.
It was in a podcast. They never lie on
True
podcasts.
crime podcast.
That's not crime.
We just locked it in. Yeah. Well, not shooting might be. Anyway, over to you, Travie. You were hanging out in East Gippsland.
Yeah, so we made the trip over to the moon. You may as well say it. It was dusty and it was far enough away. It may as well have been the moon. So, no, it was a brilliant weekend. We sort of jumped in the car and made the 12-hour trip over to East Gippsland and did a bit of shooting for the PRS. So, a bit of fun. Got to make some noise and have a wild weekend, really.
Brilliant. That's what we want to hear. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. I took a little bit of a slower time getting over, but my back survived and got there and came back, and it was it was a good time. But no doubt we will get into some of the details there. But I want a little shout out to Jake Simmons, who ran his first match, and overall did a really good job. Yeah, really good job. So that was good. But there's some more stuff coming up in 10 sleeps. We have 10 sleeps from time recording, probably only a few sleeps from the time that this goes up. We have the Steel Slam happening at the club, which should be another opportunity. I know there's a number of guys who are going to be shooting that for the first time. To the point, we've introduced a new category. So there is a new category for that match called Fresh Meat.
Fresh meat.
And
Dutchy.
Doesn't it all have double entendres?
Well, only if you want to give it some, but
I think we could give it at least 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
It may also come with its own. Anyway, we're moving on. So the idea of the fresh meat category is basically if you haven't shot anything above just a club level match, or haven't shot a lot of club level matches, you automatically get thrown into the fresh meat category.
I've only shot 1 club centerfire match this year.
But you've shot above club level.
Damn it.
Yeah, quite a bit. In fact, you've smashed it.
Damn it.
But
it's worth a try.
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
That was never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
So the idea there is, hopefully be able to encourage that. So I went and ordered some medals today, and I have the other aspect of the because we're covering them all. The other aspect of the Steel Slam is it is the first of the State of Origin matches, and so I went and had a look at a cup because my requirements for the trophy. For the Steel Slam State of Origin, or the State of Origin, was that we could drink out of it. So
seems reasonable.
Yeah, I'm looking at this one.
Oh, beautiful.
And for a little bit of scale,
it doesn't even matter if it's staying on back order because it'll be staying in South Australia anyway, wasn't it?
That's right. It's pretty big. It's as big as your head, basically. So I think I'm going to go with that one, or something very similar, something to that scale.
I feel like something with a funnel and a tap on it would be good.
Yeah. Well, you should be able to put a funnel on this one.
Yeah.
And
well, if you can't do beer bongs out of your trophy, what's the point in winning?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You could even do I think it's whatever they do with ice hockey, where they just add another layer every year when they
I think
it's
the
Stanley Cup or whatever it is.
Cup,
yeah, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
The bottom. Yeah.
Well, I've done it wrong. Obviously, clearly don't have a drinking problem. You should be putting on the top so you increase the volume of the cup.
I don't know, mate. I've played ice hockey. They're doing it right. Doing it right. There's only one way to warm up after a hockey match.
Yeah, I think they call that medication.
Yeah. It's Canadian.
I would
numb the pain.
imagine there'd be a number of ways to warm up after a hockey match.
There's only one. No.
I think it involves liquid refreshments.
That's the reason they got Canadian club.
Oh, I think post-match fight maybe.
No, that's
Oh,
during.
no, that's during the match. Yeah.
Yeah,
Why,
no, I
you
said
do that
why-
on the clock.
Why
That's
wait
why I
till
said
afterwards?
post-match fight.
Yeah,
To
no.
warm up after your fight.
The follow-up.
The blood
follow-up.
will have dried and would start to be going cold.
Yeah.
That's what you want. That's what you want.
Seems
So,
legitimate.
Still Slam.
Canada.
Still
That's
Slam
all
is
I
coming
know.
up. That's
I think that's better.
That's
all
from
most
South
people
Park,
know.
and that's all the only reason I know it.
so Still
Hockey.
Slam. Still Slam. Hockey.
Sorry.
Hockey. Yeah, we can talk about hockey for a while if you want to. I'm sure our Canadian
I've
listeners
pretty well exhausted
have
my
exhausted your.
information that I know about hockey.
One aspect.
Well, no, actually,
They covered
Wayne
fighting,
Gretzky,
drinking.
Oh no,
blood.
three aspects.
Yeah, ice.
Gretzky.
Gretzky. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, our plans.
Legging,
What?
instigating. You get 2 minutes in the sin bin for instigating, don't you? A fight.
Depends on the.
There's
league.
icing.
There is icing on the cake. You're right.
I know more about hockey than I gave myself credit for.
Well, perhaps we should become the Precision Hockey Podcast.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's a market.
Catch you guys. I'm
Sold. Look out, Canada.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get back onto it. So, Still Slam should be good fun. Going to try some interesting stuff. So, in a couple of podcast time, we'll have a bit of a chat about that match, no doubt, and a bit of a breakdown on what it is and what we tried. That would be good. What else have we got to mention? Got a new project happening. And this is a little call out. If you are in Adelaide or can get to Adelaide, or are going to be here for the Still Slam specifically, but also if you are not and you know how to operate a camera and want to be involved in a shooting video related, or in general, if you want to get involved in making some videos in Adelaide that are shooting related, we have a new project that we're working on that we would love to hear from you. So if you know how to run a camera, or if you at least can point in the right direction, that's a good start. Certainly know plenty of people can't do that bit. Get in touch, drop us a line, and we would love to have a little bit of help. We've got some fun projects which we can't talk about yet. We have to wait till they're actually filmed and done, and then I'm sure we'll tell everyone what's going on with them. So that would be good, but we need a little bit of help. All right, I've got a question here from the Precision Rifle Australia group. You guys ready?
Ready.
Sit down.
Sitting.
Good. Common question, but he's
The Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks is my Facebook memory post was about playing the Mighty Ducks
There you go.
10 years ago, 9 years ago, however long ago it was played.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. Right. Probably a very common question. I've been
Anyway,
distracted by
stop
hockey.
talking about hockey.
Probably a very
Why so
common
serious?
question, but with the way PRS just keeps evolving, might be a different answer to previous years. If you're going to start out in PRS and wanted a cost-effective caliber with a good barrel life and readily available factory ammo, what would you do?
6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same for you.
It'd have to be for barrel life.
I'd
Okay.
go 223, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Faster twist 223.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to set the world on fire, but you're going to get a lot of practice in. You're going to have a lot more barrel life and ammunition to practice with. Probably won't need a muzzle brake, but do a lot of 223s come from factory threaded?
Some do.
Yeah. Some do. Well, there you go.
Some
You
do.
might even have a muzzle brake.
Yeah, you have to run a muzzle brake just because you want it to be loud.
You just need to be obnoxious.
Yeah, exactly. So
Or you can just make
Yeah.
up for that and
be obnoxious.
Just be obnoxious.
Have an obnoxious personality and run a quiet gun.
That's right.
No, that's probably what I would run.
223.
What, the quiet gun?
No, 223 with a
And
faster
obnoxious.
twist
And
and
be
then run.
obnoxious.
Be
Well, I
obnoxious.
can't help that. That's
It just comes naturally.
natural.
well, you meet a lot of people on the range and you're like, oh, you know what, I can't stand these people.
Yeah.
You go to the wrong range, mate. Look, I think PRS gets just interchanged for PRS style and just PRS as well. I think if you were going to get involved in a club and shoot most of the club stuff and do that sort of gear, It's 2 to 3 in most cases. It's going to be great because it just keeps the cost down. You can get really good factory ammo. Your barrel life is going to be really long, and you can definitely shoot a bigger match with it for sure.
Only if you hate your spotters, though.
Well,
what if you do hate your spotters?
Yeah,
they're jerks. Like,
says that.
can't you make a good call? Can't you see I'm missing?
Yeah.
I think with the club matches we've got coming up and the amount of clubs popping up in Australia, though, the spotters and the level of spotter quality will improve. So I don't think that's going to be so much of a deal in sort of 6-12 months' time. But
yeah,
true. That's a good point.
Yep. So I mean, I'm not going to disagree with the 6.5 at all, but let's throw some other stuff in the mix. 2 to 3. Anyone going to throw a 308 into the mix?
Yeah, it's 308. It's a forgiving caliber, really, isn't it? You can load just about anything and it'll work, and it teach you a lot about shooting.
Because it's ballistically inferior.
It's
So,
old.
well, that falls into the 223 category then, doesn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
You were saying that, I believe, I don't know how many weeks ago, that
Well,
223 and 308 are ballistically inferior and they shouldn't be.
Oh, we were talking about categories, weren't
Yeah.
we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't agree with having like a NATO category. Nah. Look at that.
Yep. So, all right. 2 on 2 to 3s, 2 on 6.5 Creedmoors.
Yeah.
Anything else to throw in the mix?
If
Even
you're
a
looking at
243, factory 243.
I probably wouldn't if almost finished my first season. I'm almost out of my barrel already, so it's not really for barrel life and for cost effective. I mean, the factory rounds are only $1.60 each here in Australia, so it's
Because
not.
I did see 243 mentioned in this discussion on the group, and are you the only bloke running, at least on a regular basis, 243 in the PRS?
I think so. Yeah, there was another one there on the weekend, and there's a 243 AI as well.
Yep.
But yeah, I've run it every match. I shot 3 PRS matches and a couple of service rifle matches, and like I said, the barrel's on its limit this year, I think. So
yeah, okay.
yeah, it's probably cost of. I mean, the ammo is pretty cheap, and it's good. You can get nice factory loads for it that are going to shoot well, but
Can't get a lot of good factory heavy sort of stuff, can you? And
No, not
twist rates
heavy.
are not usually ideal.
no,
On factory, that's
factory.
the limiting factor. Yeah, the 1 in
That's
10
right.
twist is not great. I mean,
Yeah.
my experience is 87 VMAXs is about as good a projectile as you can get to stabilise. I think a 90 grain Lapurs will, but
Yeah,
they are better. I wouldn't argue that, but then how much better versus the 87 is
Yeah.
not much.
that's-
in it, really.
that's what I
for
run.
the cost and availability.
Yeah.
The 87s are pretty handy.
Exactly. That'd be the other argument, probably against the 223 as well, is the lightweight projectiles. I mean, we only stretch out to 500 meters on
But-
most ranges
Yeah,
here,
you
but
get the
80
69s.
yeah, you get a 69 grain comfortably in factory loads easily.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but-
a 80 no, it was OSA or something.
OSA, ADI,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not too bad then.
no, works
Yeah, that's
good.
why I said the fast twist ones, because otherwise you come up against
Yeah,
that.
1 and 8, or yeah, I think 1 and 8's pretty readily available in factory rifles these days in 223.
If you track them down, you can get factory loaded 80s and 88 grainers as well. So you can get all that stuff. But if you buy a Howe or something, 1 in 8's a common to see. So
But I guess the question was about PRS. Where is he just starting out and not necessarily wanting to? Because I guess there's probably not too many people in the top 10 are running a 223.
Well, that's their loss, isn't it? They're compensating for lack of skill.
You're right, but unless
by
your
getting-
name's Travis or Andy or David or something like that, most guys aren't going to start out in the top 10 either.
Yeah, fickle.
So, the guys who are in the top 10, most of them, not all, but most, this isn't their first season.
Yeah,
And the
fickle.
guys who are up there, who it is their first season,
cheating.
cheating. Yep.
Performance and heart.
Especially Andy.
Yeah, no, it's the hair.
No, it's just
It's a little bit like,
the
that's
great
Samson
advice
and-
he gets here.
It was the Loctite, wasn't it?
No, it's the Samson and Delilah. It's the hair. Shave the hair and he'll fail. I'm sure of it.
100%. He's got to shave his head for the finale.
There you go, Dave, if you're listening.
No, he's got to razor it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not just shave
full
it. Like,
chrome dome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with a
Okay.
buff.
Probably with skin graft
Yes,
as well.
that's a slap head, isn't it? If you razor it.
I don't know.
Oh,
We could,
it is.
we
I
could
don't
slap
know.
his
Skin
head.
heads if you use the buzzer thing, and then slap heads if you razor it. To make a different sound.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Not going to disagree. But so
Sounds like
No, please
expertise.
disagree. I don't
All
know
right,
what
you're
I'm
wrong.
talking about. Yeah, good. If I just invent stuff on the spot, you got to call me out.
right. So if you, Alex, I think that's I saw the conversations in there, and some guys talked about not being able to get 6.5 Creedmoor ammo. mate. Every gun shops I go to here locally have always got pretty good stuff on the shelf. So that's always been pretty easy. But yeah, it depends if you're shooting club level and a fair bit of club level with the odd match on the series, then mate, 2 to 3 would do the trick pretty well.
What's just on this topic though? What is the availability of 6mm Creedmoor factory ammo? Is that getting more readily available, or is it still?
Well, it's not getting less readily available, but it's not great.
Yeah.
Because
that would. I'm quite a fan of the 6mm Creedmoor.
Yep.
But again, you'd probably burn through a barrel pretty quickly if you're doing a lot of shooting.
Yeah, well, I'd suggest your 6mm barrel is not going to last as long as a 6.5 in a Creed.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all right. That's the thoughts. We did have a message back from the gentleman who was asking about shooting a night match. Let me bring it up here. That we covered off.
Did you call him the German or the gentleman? Because through I think my headphones are cutting out a little bit. It sounded like you said the German.
Oh, and you've got a translator on your headphones. Yeah. It mixes everything with like a slight German accent.
Yeah, there's only one German here at the moment.
Yeah. So
I got the Canadian ones. Do you want these?
No, not particularly.
You'd know more about hockey if you put those.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I'm being yelled at all the time.
That can be arranged too.
Christopher, he got back to us about he was the one shooting the night match and wanted some information for it. Thank you for your response and really did enjoy the episode. Low expectations, this bloke. Just to let you know how it all went down, the targets were well lit, so seeing them wasn't the big issue because we talked about, whether you had to spot them yourself or bits and pieces. The hardest part was waiting for the hit indicators to stop flashing so I could send another round down range under time.
Bragging.
It was such a problem hitting targets.
Yeah, I hate it when I hit targets and have to wait.
So inconvenient.
Smacking it again.
You got to miss the first 9 and hit the last one, so it flashes past you finishing the stage. It looks killer.
My illuminated reticle worked great when it was actually working. Need to get that sent in once the season is complete. That doesn't sound great. Anyway, illuminated reticle, I think we all mentioned that, about using one of them would be beneficial, and certainly apparently it did when had it. So that was a call from Chris. Thanks for getting back to us.
Be interesting to find out what issue he had with his reticle.
Wasn't working.
Not lighting up, or was it just cutting out during stages?
Yeah. It would be
sucks either way.
I wonder if he used I'm just channeling the Captain Morgans. I wonder if he did the pirate patch idea to save his night vision.
Didn't
your idea,
Didn't mention it, and
that would have been quite impressive to get photos of.
Yeah,
it's funny you should mention that. I actually went and looked for the pirate patch after that, and I have found my pirate patch. It's got a skull and crossbones on it and everything.
And given that we're drinking, given that we got rum in front of us, why didn't you bring it?
I forgot until just then.
Okay.
I found it, but
next time.
He's been preserving his day vision, just wearing it around the house.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there you go. I'll run with that.
Why not? All right. So,
just on that, do you know on International Talk Like a Pirate Day, if you go into
September 19th coming
Kreme,
up,
if you go into Krispy Kreme and go they give you six free donuts if you order some.
Is this one of those podcast pranks where you're just putting it out there and hoping someone will do it?
I'm hoping. How many listeners do we have?
3.
Hi, Mum.
15,000.
Oh, I'm hoping 15,000 people bombard Krispy Kreme and go, can I have me free donuts? And then
you're gonna have on Star Wars Day.
Excuse me, sir.
You're gonna talk
I'm
like
gonna
a
have
Wookiee.
to ask you to leave. You're like the 15,000th person today.
I like how all of our listeners have gone to the same Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, it's probability.
So if any of our listeners do work at Krispy Kreme, can you confirm this or deny it for us? That would be really good to know, preferably before the 19th of September. That would be beneficial.
Or just leave it hanging. Build the suspense.
Yeah.
I think it's worth the effort.
Yeah, we won't let anyone know the answer until
I get it. Yeah, we won't be broadcasting that.
Yeah. We'd like to know.
I see. I'm new to this radio thing.
Yeah.
Well, technically it's podcast.
Well, radio would probably be going out right now if it was... anyway.
Nah, not the radios I use.
He's still on the short wave.
Yeah.
Ham
radios. Yeah. Speak to your mates in
hand
wherever
radios
they say
or ham
from.
radios?
Ham.
Ham. Tasty.
It's probably just been distracted. We've lost him for about 15 minutes now.
Oh, just even the glazed ham we did the other year was pretty awesome.
I was thinking glazed donuts from Krispy Kreme. All right. Anyway, the weekend just gone held the second Ignition Custom Winter Classic over in East Gippsland. Have Bronte and Dutchy, you went there, but have you ever been to East Gippsland?
No.
On a regular basis. It's basically my second home.
Gippslandian.
Oh, East Gippsland. No.
East.
Never been there.
Or west.
Never been there.
Yeah, no. Normal Gippsland, I'm sure you've been to many times this year. Yeah, but not East.
I think I've been there once.
Okay, good. Well, Travie, this is your third trip there, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about the location because it's pretty stellar.
Oh, it's a magic place. It's probably on the edge of the Victorian High Country, isn't it? It's right on the sort of the bottom edge between at the bottom of the hills, basically.
Yep.
And you drive into town. It's basically in a bit of a valley, surrounded by big green grassy hills and sort of farmhouses all dotted around, cows and cattle all around the hills. It's just a beautiful little place.
And deer.
And deer as well, plenty of deer. I remember leaving the finale last year and almost hitting a deer at 4 o'clock in the morning on the way out. Do you remember that?
Sounds like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
We had to wait for the indicator to settle before he hit it again.
That's right.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was.
No, it's a beautiful little town. It's an idyllic country Australian town. So
I think I've nearly hit 12 deer there, so I don't particularly remember remember one. They're just they're everywhere. Yeah. Actually made a point this year of not driving dusk or dawn or at night. One, I didn't need to. Two, I definitely shouldn't have. And three, it worked out great.
Smart move because it was really foggy in that valley in the mornings as well.
Wasn't
it was
just.
But you climb on top of that and it's just a white town basically disappears, doesn't it? So pretty nice.
Yeah, beautiful spot. So cold in the morning, but during the day we end up with sort of 15 to 18 degrees. Nice and beautiful weather to be shooting in.
Most certainly.
Made trace really nice and easy to see.
That was I think the one comment from the weekend that stands out. Everyone was calling out the beautiful trace. Like you could just watch it from one side of the range to the other. It was really
Trace?
Cool.
She sounds hot.
Anyone.
She sounds interesting.
She does. You could just watch her from one end of the range. Everyone was calling her out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And just
damn it, I missed a good one.
You could definitely see when you could see trace when you missed, and you could see trace when you hit. Like it was a nice comfort.
No hit and trace
all day as well. All day you just watch it. Like there wasn't any.
You could trace all day.
Trace all day.
Yeah.
Jesus, she would have worn out at the end of it.
Overused that trace, but
we can edit that out, right?
Nope. Yeah, there was all sorts of interesting things. My probably most interesting part, which is going to be a bit disappointing for the PRS, but my most interesting part was the drive over. I saved a podcast. Let's put it that way. I saved a podcast. So I was driving over, and I'd driven out on the Tuesday night, stayed just outside of Horsham, just slept in the van. And then the next day I was driving into Ballarat, had breakfast in Ballarat, and then on my way out of Ballarat, Jake called me. Jake was the match director for the match, and he said, "Oh, look, I'm going to be home late tonight, not home till about 9:30, 10." Now, I was meant to be staying with Jake, and he said, "Is that still okay?" I said, "Yeah, no sweat, mate, that's fine. I've got plenty of things I can do on the laptop. Easy done." So I continued to drive on. For those who know Melbourne, Ballarat's an hour and a half out, and then I was about another hour and a half out the other side. So sort of about 3 hours later, did a couple of stops. So it's probably 4 hours later. It was about maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the Arvo. Jake rings me again. He said, I'm really sorry, but I'm not going to get home tonight. I'm working way too late now. I'm just going to pull up at my brother or brother-in-law's place or something like that." And I said, "Okay." He said, "I'm sorry to stuff you around." I said, "That's all right. No worries. I'll get a motel somewhere and it'll be fine." Yeah. I've got plenty of things to do, like podcasts to edit, for example. So anyway, I'm like, "Oh, that's all right." And I'm driving along. I'm going, hang on a sec. I smell Badco. The Hunting HQ boys are out here somewhere in this part of the world, in Gippsland, somewhere in the high country. I know they're on a hunt. I know they've got a pub night tomorrow night somewhere in this area. I'm just going to give him a call and see what's happening. So I rang Badco and said, "Hey, mate, what's going on?" And he said, "Oh, we just bashed 3 left-handers and now we're sitting at the pub just chilling out." Well, fair enough. That's life in your world. One of them is Simo. And so I said, "Do you guys want to go for a? Do you guys want to go for a beer, or what are you doing tonight? I'll come have dinner with you." Anyway, it worked out that we were about an hour and a half away from them, and so I progressed towards the Hunting HQ boys to hear the stories of whether they got deer or not. And I don't know if that podcast has gone up yet, so I won't commit one way or the other. Anyway, and then I got a call back about 15 minutes later saying, "Oh, just are you able to pick up some parts for us?" I said, "Sure. What's going on?" They said, "The reason where we are is because our car died coming out of the high country. They drove somewhere they weren't meant to, and they tried to get out of somewhere they weren't meant to, and it went south. The power steering rack fell out, and the tyres cambered over, and it was not a pleasant sight."
Whoops.
Whoops, indeed. Whoops, indeed. So anyway, I said, "Well, tell me where it is," and it turns out I was about 20 minutes away from it. Some Facebook ad with the parts they need, so I went off and did that. Apparently that saved about $3,500 being able to do that. So I rocked up there.
That's only pocket change for Greg, though.
No, this is the Rum Baron.
Oh, okay, fair, cool.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah.
It's a lot of bottles of rum.
Yeah, it's a lot of bottles of rum. So they were very kind and gave me tea and paid for rum and put me up for accommodation. So it was good hanging out with those lads. And so we kicked back and certainly smashed some run. And I think we just listened to Rodney Rood for the night, which is not the worst way to. I've said Rodney Rood, and no one within 15 seconds has done the laugh yet.
Well, you didn't want to be rude. We'll let you finish your story.
That's part of the deal. Anyway, so that was an
what Rodney Rood?
I don't know. I didn't want to be rude. And
There's so many good ones.
I don't know. We had a selection.
Yeah,
We probably had 3 or 4 hours worth.
I like the one about Pol Pot when he gets all sad, becomes an alcoholic, and then he's like, they should call him Piss Pot.
Seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't work without the laugh. Anyway,
It's not meant. I don't.
you weren't
I
trying.
wouldn't.
I don't think he was trying to be funny, though. I think he was being quite serious.
Yeah, he's talking about his favourite thing.
I
Yeah.
think it's a legitimate topic.
So it's quite amusing to catch up with those lads and just out of a change in plans to end up at the pub drinking rum with the Rum Baron and the other lads from there. So make sure, little plug for Hunting HQ, make sure you check out their podcast and see whether they got any deer on their big wild high country trip where they ruined the car.
They got a new steering rack.
Did they get a deer and that's why the steering rack's broken? Because you said you'd
It's like
nearly
that
hit
heavy
12.
that it crushed.
No, you said you'd nearly hit 12 on the road.
Oh,
That was further on. That was in Buchan.
So you're implying they couldn't shoot once they just run one over.
Hey, whatever works, mate.
Not that they couldn't.
Nothing wrong with a 2-ton projectile.
Yep. Yeah, if it works.
I'm just trying to fill in gaps of this story.
Well, we have to leave a little bit open so people go and listen to their podcast for their side of the story. Yeah.
So it'd be really good if we just said whether they got a deer or not and then beeped over it.
Oh, well, they definitely got...
Oh, my God.
Right. Anyway, so that was getting over to Buchan. So Jake bailing on me worked out great. Worked out great. And then I came into where is it? Bairnsdale, and stopped in at the booze shop to buy a bottle to keep ourselves amused, and it was 20% off scotch.
Oh, it's all coming up rusty.
Yeah, it was all downhill from there though.
Yeah, well, it was actually into Buchan. All downhill.
Well done, well played,
Nailed it.
well played. So this is it was good. Another match.
That's amazing. Saves a day, free accommodation, and then 20% off scotch. It's like, you just walking on sunshine.
I pretty much was, man. I pretty much was. Didn't hurt my back.
Yeah.
Underpants on the outside and all, I reckon.
No, that was on my head.
Even better.
I was a bit later that night.
Yeah. Because it was 20% off. I'm like, well, if I'm like 5, that's basically a free one.
Can't turn it up.
Can't deny it. So, Travie, what was your favourite stage, mate?
Oh, that's
What was your favourite stage?
very, very good. Do you know my favourite stage? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it was, what was the wobble platform stage called? I've drawn a blank on it.
Captain Phillips.
Captain Phillips, only because it was just hasn't been used for a while and it was there. It was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of emotion because you'll have a look at that wobble platform and you go, oh, I know what this can do to a shooter. And it was just fun. Just a fun little stage. Like nothing
It wasn't
outlandish
a complex
about
stage,
it.
was
No,
it?
it wasn't complex. It was just fun because it really tested you. It made you sort of calm down and relax and focus on your shots. So
yeah.
Another I had another fun stage was the completely.
No, I just said what was your favourite stage.
Well, I'm going to go 2 because I want one with a bit of movement as well.
Right, we're going to run over
Rule
time.
breaker.
Rule breaker.
Rule breaker. He went from polite to breaking the rules.
Right, you're not from Canada?
In 40 minutes. What
Got
kind
these
of effect
Canadian
do we have on
headphones.
these people?
Clearly crossed the border.
I think we're a bad influence.
Oh, I wouldn't say
He
that.
was so polite. He wouldn't say a word. Now he's breaking the rules. 40
Fine.
minutes. That's how
Get
long it
into
takes
it.
for us to destroy a person.
36. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
36.
New record.
Not even 40.
New
Not even
record.
40.
I reckon we can do the better though. I reckon we can get it into about 20 minutes.
Righto, get into it. Maybe next
You're
episode.
right. Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Oh, what are you going to steal my book?
Yeah,
I was going to talk about my
I've
favourite
had
stage.
a couple of sleeps since then. Like a couple of short sleeps.
Oh, I'm going to tell you my favourite stage. then.
Just one though.
Just one.
Only one.
Well, now you're setting the rules.
Whose podcast is this?
Someone's going. Welcome to the Travie Harris show. I'm top 10 in the PRS, and welcome to my podcast. All right, so my favourite stage was run what you brung, which Travie didn't like.
Well, I wasn't because I only got 3 on that stage, so
Well,
it
you got
was
what you
rubbish
deserved.
that one.
You got what you deserved. So this was a stage where, the reason I like this is because it worked within its intent. So there was like a cargo net, and the cargo net was about knee height off the ground, approximately, depending on how tall you are. And the idea was you had to shoot unsupported prone, or no bipod prone. You had to shoot with your seated, but with your legs facing forward. Okay, so you couldn't sit on your feet. And then you had to shoot over a barrel, but you couldn't utilise the barrel as a rest. So these are all sort of positions that are uncomfortable, where equipment and gear is beneficial. You know, tripods and big bags and all that sort of gear. But the gun would start on the line, and you would have to crawl under this cargo net with all the equipment that you wanted to use. So if you wanted to use gear, you had to take it with you. If you wanted to use it and you didn't take it with you, you couldn't use it. So it was
Could you throw the gear over?
No. Had to drag it with you.
Go under.
Had to drag it with you. So one of the reasons I really liked it, one, they were good shooting positions, they were challenging, but they were made easy with the right gear if you could set it up quickly. And it was interesting to see guys' approaches with how much gear they took under. There is a video of Andy on our Facebook where he ran through it like really, really well. I took a photo of Travie got through it pretty well, but you did see guys who just didn't take anything with them and just went for it and then just tried shooting, and they shot poorly. And then you saw guys, Andy was one, and a couple other guys who did really, really well, who set up their tripods. Their tripods was the key, and a bag was good, but they had to deploy it quickly because it's a 2-minute stage, and surprisingly, it was you had to be hooting along that. How'd you go on that one? I know you got 3.
I only got 3. Yeah.
Where did you go wrong?
Well, the whole
You
stage
missed.
really. It was I missed. Yeah. No, where I went wrong with that, and a couple of people I think had the same issue. The prone stage or the prone position. So you had to shoot your first 3 shots. Ideally, was from a tripod, basically like sitting, but not resting on your knees. That was okay. I just missed a couple of shots because I just did. You know how it goes.
I certainly
No, actually, we don't. We always hit.
Yeah, no, you would. Yeah. It's easy, except for when you're rushing.
Speak for
when you're
yourself.
rushing. La, la, la,
When you're
la.
rushing.
He's trying to trigger the soundboard.
It
that's
doesn't
all.
work that way. It's not voice
no,
That's
activated.
like a Manchurian trigger.
No, the problem I had with that, well, not with that stage, but with the prone shooting position, my projectiles were hitting low for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Whether there was a bit of mirage or whether they were sort of impacting a bit of grass on the way through, because there was quite a bit of grass in the scope line because it was. So I don't really know. They were quite low, and a couple of people had the same.
Should have
issue.
used your shooting stick.
Shooting stick. Good point. In the water, there was no water.
We've alluded to this video in about 7 episodes now. We're just going to play this episode now. This is a YouTube video from if you look hard, you'll find it on YouTube. But this is from a particular company, and Travie shooting grass.
From water.
It will make sense in about a minute.
Shooting stick. Now, these are a must, especially when you get to my age, a little bit shaky when you shoot. These are available. They expand from 1 metre up to 1.8 metres. Simply just pull it out, turn it a few times, and it'll lock into spot, and it's then done. Now, they're great if you're shooting grass. Simply undo that bottom, push that in. I'll bring it up a bit closer. Push that into the dirt or grass. It's not going to slip out from underneath. You're shooting on rock, leave the rubber there, and that's a non-slip rubber. Also, this part can be unscrewed if you don't want to use that. You just push that straight into dirt, water, whatever. Now, I've seen these guys out there for people selling them up to $100. Why, I do not understand. This is the exact same product, same quality. Yeah, I just don't get it. Why people charge that sort of money for something so simple. These are imported by us, True Adventure Outdoor product, like all our other gear. It's quality, quality, quality. We're the direct importers, wholesale direct to you guys.
No, so yeah, we don't know what it was. A couple of guys in our squad had the same issue, just a projectiles running, shooting grass. Yeah, but again, it's not an excuse. It's something I should have picked up on.
Yep.
But yeah, that's sort of. I think a couple of shots I couldn't explain from the weekend. I don't know what was happening with those, and it just went wrong, and I ran out of time trying to make those corrections. So, but that's life in the PRS, isn't it?
That's right.
Sometimes
and at least you didn't have Ben Jarrett's problem.
No,
did you see that?
I did hear about it. I didn't see it. No, he was in another squad.
So Ben Jarrett, Long Gun Project. I was filming a fair bit of the PRS for for his channel, and I said, "Do you want me to film you?" Because his girlfriend was there filming for him, but she was sort of standing back a little bit, and I said, "Well, I'll stand in front and film you belting your way through the cargo net. How about I stand there with the camera?" So I gave me the camera, and so I'm filming. And anyway, so I'm doing that. He raced through, it was fine, and shot really well, both positions, and then got to the one where he had to extend the bipod out, extended one leg. No problem. Extend 2 legs. No problem. Then extend 3 legs, and now it was gone. The third leg was gone. Yeah.
So now he can shoot.
Extended it too far.
Now he can shoot grass as well.
He's now got a bipod because he took one of the legs off unintentionally, and he's like just staring at me like, what just happened? And I'm like, put the damn tripod down and pick up the gun and shoot, mate. And you at least. You've got more chance of hitting it if you pull the trigger than you do just staring with the bipod.
Statistical truth.
Yeah. But I think he was playing up for the camera for his video. And, anyway, I spoke to him afterwards.
Did anyone get stuck in the net trying to get through?
Yep.
Is that just too much of a... but stuck for the whole 2 minutes? Like,
just floundering around. Floundering around in the
people
dirt.
like, is he serious? Should we help him? Or?
Definitely not.
Is he really stuck?
Probably, but still don't help him.
I liked it because it was a physical component to it, but it wasn't a hard physical. Like it wasn't. Everyone did it. Everyone.
Yeah, but if something was really awkward.
Yeah, so it was plenty
around. Everyone gets tangled up.
Yeah, it's plenty of awkwardness.
I would laugh so much.
So, and Jake had put little branches and stuff on there, so it was there was more interference.
Yeah, I shot a similar concept stage of having to crawl under the cargo net at the match I shot in New Zealand.
Oh yeah,
and from what I heard at the start of the day, it was about knee high, but because it had been raining during the day, it all kind of like collapsed. So when it come to our squad going through to shoot, it was basically laying on the ground. And you had to start behind the net and crawl through the net with all your gear, including the rifle, which was quite a, it was good fun. It was
nice.
Because, you had some of the guys that, there was a strategy that worked well, which was basically hold the rifle between your legs, pretty much stand up at a high crawl and that worked, but if you didn't do that, there was lots of things to get caught up on, like your hooks and your boots and you name it, everything got caught.
When Andy was complaining that the net was a bit low, so I put one of the corners down to the ground for him.
Well, that's good. That's a pretty legitimate response.
If you're going to complain, well, it's going to make it worse.
You could have made people crawl through that with their rifles as well, and nobody would have been able to shoot the stage because that dust was horrendous.
Yeah, there has never been finer dust anywhere ever, I think.
Character
Or
building.
challenge accepted.
Yeah, no, I'll back that challenge, I think.
Yeah, no,
that
good
was
luck.
horrible dust. What was amusing is the guys would be laying down on that particular stage, and then they'd go to shoot standing up, and you just watch the dust fall off them under recoil.
Awesome.
It was good. So anyway, what was your second favouriteest stage that is you only had one option for?
Well, my second favourite stage, again, something a bit different because we haven't done it before, was the completely left-handed stage. Which was cool.
I was so glad I didn't have to shoot them.
Oh, that was an eye opener. It really was.
So while he's looking for it, they were we often do support side shoulder, but it's only enforced that it has to be on the shoulder. Jake enforced it swap eye, swap hand, everything support.
But why wouldn't you do that?
It's far quicker.
Trigger control.
Quicker for me. Yeah.
Really?
See, some guys do it the way you're talking
For
about.
me, I feel equally as uncomfortable shooting left or right. In fact, my left eye is better than my right eye. So if I'm actually shooting for groups or want to really aim
Do
small,
you change your trigger hand?
no, man, I just shoot everything left-handed. Swap trigger hands. The only thing I still run with my right hand is the bolt because it's on that side.
There you go.
Yep.
But everything else is left-handed.
Many don't. So Jake enforced it. And,
Good on
he
him.
said-
I support Jake's decision to enforce it.
I love the fact that he did it because I didn't shoot it.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. It really tested a lot of people because for that exact same reason, a lot of people shoot with their normal trigger finger and just use their left eye. But
Did they have to cycle the bolt with the left hand? Because that would have been a dick move.
no, they didn't go to that extent, but it may as well have been. No, it was definitely a good skill to test on people, and the fact that they actually did it from a barricade in that particular stage as well. It wasn't. There was a couple of opportunities where it was used, but we had prone and a barricade in this one, and that took it to a whole new level. So it was good fun.
Caught a few guys out. Yeah,
it certainly did. So I think the stage was you had 12 rounds. And you had to alternate between prone and the barricade as well. So 2 shots prone, 2 shots barricade, and back and forth.
you
so
had to be moving.
there was a lot of movement.
Yeah,
and,
right. I'm assuming you didn't have a huge amount of time either.
No, 100. It was 120 seconds, so 2 minutes.
It wasn't a lot of time.
No,
It's
not
doable,
really.
but that's 10-second shot with movement isn't
as well as you
being
complete
uncomfortable and
complete
not what
offside
you
as
usually.
well.
Yeah.
No, it was good. There was a lot of a lot of ingenuity on the barricade. Just I guess getting your gun in position and keeping it rock solid on the barricade was the easiest way. I made the silly mistake of taking a tripod and pretending I could shoot using that as a rear support.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of tripod use this one. Let's get an extra guess in here, and just see because we had a lot of tripod action.
Yeah, it was actually good because I think we've had tripods in previous matches, but this match a lot of people were a bit more comfortable with it, so they actually had a good presence and worked quite well. So
yeah, well, we one of the things we've dropped a lot of
Hello.
Hey, Andy.
How's it going?
We're good, mate. Welcome to the
that
podcast.
It's pretty cool.
well, it might be. That's
So
presumptuous,
polished.
mate. That's
So
presumptuous.
And Dutchy's just lost the fact that he's just worked out how phones work. I think.
No. Have you seen The Simpsons where it's about Australia and he goes, I'm going to speak to the Prime Minister. Hey, Andy.
Oh, we
Yeah, I don't really pay much attention.
Shiny
I'm
objects in the
having
room
fun.
gone.
No, it's hilarious.
So anyway, Andy Little joins us from far away, and mate, we're just recapping a little bit about the Winter Classic that you did okay at.
Yeah. No, awesome. So what's the go?
How did you go with a tripod? Do you regularly shoot with a tripod?
I've played around with it a little bit. I wouldn't say regularly, but I've practiced a little bit at home with it. But that weekend was the first time using it as a rear support. And other than that, just been watching YouTube clips on how they do it on the in the States using tripods.
And did it go all right for you?
Yeah, I think for the most part it went pretty well. Just need to remember to tighten up the ball head, otherwise it sort of flops on you and then your gun pulls off the top of the tripod. But other than that, I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, nice. Because one of the things that we've shied away from is to enforce lots of, sort of tripod sort of gear. But the main reason has been because, it's an expensive sport to get into, a lot of it. And early days, you'd see like one or two dudes that have a tripod at a match.
Yep.
Whereas now you've got, how many tripods do you reckon was there, Travie?
Oh, there was heaps. There was 3, 4, 5 in a squad, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, 15 tripods. And so for someone to borrow one it wasn't like you were hammering one tripod all weekend of some poor bloke who was too generous and said yes to everyone. Whereas, just one or two guys used a tripod over the course of the weekend and everyone got a chance to use one if they wanted to. You could certainly tell who'd practiced and who hadn't. Speaking of who hadn't, Andy.
I was actually going to say, Andy, you mentioned using the tripod as a rear support. That's the first time you've done that, or in competition. Did you practice that at home, or how did you find that getting into that position?
I found it pretty easy to get into position. Once again, I'd watched like a really good tutorial video on how to use them as rear supports and the sort of process in which you set up to use them efficiently. So,
whose
pretty much.
Video was that, Andy?
What video?
Whose video? Yeah.
It was on, I think it was like the NRL page, like in the States, where they do, they'll do like stage breakdowns and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. Okay. We'll try and dig it up and put the link out there.
Yeah, and they just showed, it was one where they compared someone who hadn't used a tripod before versus someone who had as a rear support. And you could definitely tell the guy who had used it before, he had like a full process, which was tripod goes down to your right-hand side, bag goes on the barricade, rifle goes down, pull the tripod up, settle in, and then you just repeat that for each position. And, obviously it worked out pretty well.
Excellent. No worries, mate. Well, thanks for letting us test out our ability to make phone calls during the episode. This is, very quickly this is going to become prank calls, but we thought we'd use it usefully for the first one.
Seems like a waste of the first use.
If you get private number calling about 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night, probably don't answer it.
Well, 9 o'clock's probably all right. It's the later ones you'd probably want to
After about like 10, it goes downhill fairly quickly.
Once the dimple's kicked in, it's...
the dimple.
goes south. So. No worries, Andy. We will talk to you again. We'll probably have you in the studio next time.
Yep. Yeah, sounds good.
And congratulations on your win, you schmuck.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks very much, guys.
He's still out partying. That's why he's not here, isn't it?
He's still in bucking.
Yeah.
He's in jail.
Just one phone call for the week.
That's right. All right, mate. See ya.
Cheers. Thanks.
There you go. We can make phone calls. It's turning closer and closer to radio. One thing that I enjoyed the benefit of with Jake being the match director is I was able to do a lot of live videos, which was beneficial because I know we had a lot of guys watching. We had somewhere over the weekend about 7,000 or 8,000 people watch the videos, which is nerve-wracking. But anyway,
it's an appreciable number.
It was a good number. It was a good number to have lots of people involved.
Krispy Kreme is going to cop it. They don't know what they've done.
That's exactly right. So let's make sure we 19th of September get into it. Anyway, the ability to be able to put that information out there and watch stage breakdowns and I did stuff up. I was gonna go through the scores and see who was doing really well on a particular stage or anything like that. And the two stages I decided to do that without really paying attention to them. I just grabbed the iPad and said, "Oh, what have we got in here?" They were the two stages that nearly everyone cleaned because they were sort of fairly easy stages. So that was a little bit disappointing. But anyway, next time I will choose stages that got some more. I mean, they're probably 2 out of 3 stages that were like that, and the rest were all quite challenging.
There was a lot of very sharp variation between the stages. It was good.
So anyway, so that was good. So we'll continue to develop that. Hopefully we can do that up in Bigoton. Yeah, which will be good. More of that. You're not going up to Bigoton, are you, Travie?
No, sir. I thought about it. There's a couple of spaces available, but I don't think I can muster the time off that quickly. So
at this point, there is 3 spots left. So it's nearly there. I think I haven't done the batch in Bigoton, but the Buchan match is very unique. It's probably the most social of the PRS matches, mainly because everyone has to stay in the same town because there's nothing else around, and there's only one place to go in the town, which is the pub, and so everyone's at the pub all the time. And we were talking about before that you pay $10 or $11 for what we're drinking here, a Captain Morgan in a can, or you pay $10 for an Imperial pint of CC and Dry. So yeah, it's a well
economics will sort this problem out
very quickly. Resolve that. Plus, we all wanted to feel like hockey players. It was cold enough. So Bronte had a thought there, and was that a self-censored? Oh, that's what editing's for, though. All right. We can't get it out of him. Clearly, it was a real bad one because he says most of them. All right, excellent. Well, I think we shall wrap that one up quickly there, guys.
Spill the beans. Spill them. If we're ending, we're not ending on. Oh no, I can't say that.
Thanks for listening to the Precision Shooting Podcast. To continue the discussion, check out our Facebook page. And for more information, head to our website, www.precisionshootingpodcast.com.au. This episode was brought to you by Impact Dynamics.